Hello, one. So this was the number 15 on the 10B and then number 10 on the 12. So we have nine real numbers, and then like six of them are given, as well as X, Y, Z will be other three numbers. X is smallest, the Z is the largest. And the range of those nine numbers is seven. So this is going to be the first information we are going to start using, I guess. And then mean and median both are positive integers. And then we want to find the number of tuples that satisfy this condition. So first things, let's start with the cases careful because this is slightly like trickier than some of the previous problems, in my opinion. So like my first case, right, is like, the based on the numbers that I given. So this is the seven, which is the largest number. So my smallest number should be zero, which means I cannot really have negative value because the range is seven. So if I choose X to be zero, which is the reason X is zero because that's the smallest of those. And then since there is not any of these given numbers, so it should be our X. So then our list should be like this: zero, like 1, 2.2, 3.2, and then we have 5.2, 6.2, and 7. So we have Y and Z as well. But when you have, let me double check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we have Y and Z, which is two more, that will be 9. So the fifth number in the list should be our median, which we know that's integer. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number right here that we are going to need should be our median, which has to be integer. Only way that will work out for this case is 4 and 5. So we could have 4 or 5. We chose X to be 0, so which means the number that we're going to plug right here should be our like Y value. So if I choose like Y equals 4, okay, so for example, so let's add these numbers. Like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1 through 7 is 7 times 8 over 2, which is 28, right? And then we have 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, which is 0.8. So when you add these numbers, we get 28.8. And we do need another number as well. So because we are saying that Y is 4 in that case, so then we just need Z to be added to this guy, and then that should be a multiple of 9. So I'm going to say converted to 0, like mod 9. You don't really need that one, but this is kind of better for me to write it. So we just want to find a Z that would be at least 4 in that case. So this sum will be a multiple of 9, and that would be integer, okay? Because we are told the mean and median are both are integer. So like 9 times like 4 is like 36. So Z might be like, if you take this 29, so that should be 6 away from 30. 29 to 30, like 6, that's 6 away, and 7 away. So 7.2, but Z cannot be 7.2, so that's too large, so which doesn't really work. So that's why for this case, there's nothing will work out, right? If I choose Y is 5, the reason why it doesn't work, like if I choose, let's say, like Z is a bit smaller, less like if I choose like 3 times 9, which is 27, for example, that will be 1.8 additional. That means Z will be a negative number, so which doesn't work because we chose Z to be larger. And if I choose like 4 times 9, which is 36, so that would be like 7.2 away from this, but largest number is 7, so it doesn't work anyway. So nothing will work out with this case, right? So the next case then we can say is 5. If I go with 5, like 1, 2, 3, 5, but there is another 5 right here, so 6 and 7. Or now we're saying we just increase the previous sum by 1, so that should be just 29.8 and plus Z. So this has to be a multiple of 9, right? So maybe I can just say 9K. Maybe that might be better instead of this one. So then, 9 times 4 is 36. So this is 29.8, so which is like 0.2 away from 30. So 6.2. So Z will be 6.2. So it looks like it is working because that's smaller than our largest number. So as long as that's at most 7, so we should be fine with that. So we have 0, 5, and 6.2. So this is the first case I have. Okay, so that works. So meaning that one is confirmed. The second case, case 2, is if I choose, let's say, we choose this guy to be largest and x to be 0, but it doesn't have to be. Like we could have something like x value is smaller than 1, and then a bit maybe larger than 0, so which we do not know. So maybe x should be like smaller than, maybe equal to even 1. So because no, actually if this is 1, that will be 7, so let's not do that. So if this is larger than 0 and smaller than 1, then our last number should be this 7 more than this number, because this is a positive number, so that means 7 will not be our largest number. So our list will be like this: x, 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, and 5, 2, 6, 2, and 7, as well as 7 plus x. Okay, so because that x will be added to this guy, so we can get a range. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. And we know that the median is another number in this list, right? So that will be a fifth number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are gonna need a number in this spot. So which could be 4 or 5 again, because that should be integer. So if I choose y is 4, okay, so if I choose y is 4, so then we are gonna get like two different sums. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and another 7. So in the previous one, so we had like 28.8. So when you add those, when you add one more 7, so you got 35.8. So I'm gonna just say the entire sum will be 35.8. But in this case, we have 1x plus another x right here. So that should be 2x. And this sum should be 9 times, maybe I should write this way, 9 times mean, which is an integer. So if I take the mean as like 4, that will be 36. So that's 0.2 away from this one. That means x is 0.1. So that will work actually for this case as well. So we have like 0.1, y is like 4, and then z, which is going to be largest number, 7 plus that x value, which is 7.1. So that would be our second check one. So that's so far 2. And if I choose the y is 5, right? So if I choose y, so it's 5, so that will increase by 1. So 36.8 plus 2x, so that should be 9 times mean. So that is larger than 36. Like if I choose like 4 times, then 2x will be negative 0.8. That means x is negative 0.8. But I choose x to be larger than 0, which we already said it cannot be smaller than 0, because if that's the case, the range will be larger than 7, which doesn't work anyway. But if I choose, let's say, 5 times 9, this might be like mean might be 5. So that will be 45. But this is going to be like way like bigger than 1, so that doesn't satisfy this condition. So there is nothing is going to work from this case. So now we have only 1 and 1 for each case so far. So the case 3 is basically maybe like 1 is the smallest number still, and then let's write our numbers, the other ones, to 2.2 and 3.2, 5.2, 6.2, 7. So like if the 1 is the smallest number, right? Then the range is gonna be 7. So which means we should have a 8 as well, which is gonna be our largest number. So that needs to be our z. So you can just say that's my z for the case. But x and y could be somewhere. Like I could have x to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So x could be one of these like numbers, right? So it could be 1, could be 5.2. maybe even like maybe not 5.2, but so it could be like something between this range. So then the y value, which is going to be our last number because this is our z, has to be the fifth number. So 1, 2, like 3, 4, and 5. Maybe I should take this take away. So the x value might be something right here, and then our y value should be still here, right? So x could be anything all the way to the like 4 or 5, and then I mean y, and then x could be anything in between those, and then y will be 4 and 5, so z is 8. So let's think about this situation. So we have like 1, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is like the fifth number. But in that case, like we could have like y is 4 and 5. So in this case, y could be 4 and 5. So if this is the case, like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times like 9 over 2 is 36. So that should be 36.8 as before because we have 4 of those 0.2s. Plus we have x value, right? Plus x, 36.8. So this is going to be a multiple of 9 because mean is going to be integer as well. So if that's the case, x cannot be like, if I choose 4 times, that will be like 36. That means x is negative 0.8, which doesn't work because it has to be positive. We choose all these cases so far. So if I choose mean is 5, that's 45. That will be like 8.2, I believe, which is larger than like our largest number, so which will be against our range, so that doesn't work anyway. So for this case, there is nothing going to work out with 4. If I go with 5, so that will be increased by 1, so that will be 37.8 plus x. So the same story will be with this guy. So if that's, I guess I'll get 1.8 for x. So and then y will be 5, and then 8, like z will be 8. So I believe, let me double check. So if I go with x is like 5, right? This is 8, so that's the z actually. So if I choose like 4 times that, that's be 36, that's going to be 1.8. So x would be 1.8 and y would be 5. So z would be 8, right? So let me write that. So 1.8, 5, and 8. So z is 8 and x is 1.8 because 36 plus 1.8. So that is going to be our another triple. So I think that does also work, right? So we have 1.8 and the other ones. So that looks like 1.85 and 8. Actually, no, this doesn't work because if I choose the like 1.8 for x, so that will be somewhere right here, and y will be 5. So and then z is 8. So yeah, it looks like it's actually working. So okay, so like when you add this, we got the 37.8 plus x. It's going to be multiple of 9, so which is like 36 if I choose. X will be negative 1.8, so which doesn't work, so that's no good. If I choose like 5 for the median, like mean, so that will be 45, but x will be way larger than our this condition, so that doesn't work. So from here, so there's no like values will work out. But we have like another case where we have like we choose the another case. So maybe the last case I could say, right? If I choose x is like maybe a middle number, like larger than 5.2, because I just tried like increasing the x value. So if I choose like x as like somewhere like larger than maybe like middle number. So let me just write the list 1, 2.2, and 3.2, 5.2, 6.2, and 7. So we know this is the smallest, so the largest number should be 8. So that's our like z. And we need the x and y somewhere as well. So let's take 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. And then the fifth numbers, let's say it's gonna be right here. So based on that, our median has to be larger than 5, which only number that works is 6. So if I add like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's just 4 missing. 7 times 9 over 2, which is 36, minus 4 is 32. So 32.8. But if I choose that's 6, that will be 38. So 38.8 plus the y value. So this has to be multiple of 9. So if I choose y is 4, that does actually not work because that's 36 already, and then y will be forced to be negative. If I choose y is like mean is 5, that's 45. So from 38.8 to 40, that's 1.2. So plus 5. No, that's gonna be 38.2. If I subtract of 5, that will be 1.2. So 5 plus, that's 6.2. So y will be 6.2. So then our another triple that will work 6.26 and 8. So that is another one that does work. So far we got like one case 056.2, right? So that is gonna be one solution. So I'll just highlight that. And the second one 0.147.1. So that does work. And then this is the last one does work. So it took a bit longer because it was a little bit kind of tedious. And then you really want to be careful with your cases. So that would be 3 cases in this case. I hope that was clear. I'll see you next week.